Hello again, Mitchell here. Hey, just for my videos, if you can always get into a meditative state, I think that would be better. And so, one of the things that I always do is get the body into the meditative state first. Why? Because the body is always sending signals to the brain. The brain's number one job is to make sure that the body is safe. When the body is sending signals saying, I don't feel safe, then the brain's going to be distracted. So to get the body into a meditative state, we need to first turn down the fight or flight response. Most people in our culture, and especially today, are experiencing mild to severe amounts of fight or flight in their body, but it's coming across as stress and anxiety in the brain. And so if we can help with the body symptoms, then the brain has less to worry about or less to monitor, and it can go more easily into meditation. So despite what the message is today, we want to be in a meditative state. It's an open, receptive state. It's also a observe and respond state versus a react state. So we're going to turn down the fight or flight by with a couple polyvagal exercises, and then we are going to turn on the parasympathetic, or the rest and relax, or the safety mode system in the body. We will probably be doing a little of both simultaneously. So first off, to relax the fight or flight, we're just going to do this one. And we've done this one before. I'm taking my right hand, I don't know what it looks like on your end, and I'm taking my right ear towards the right shoulder, left ear away from the left shoulder, dropping that left shoulder down and away from the left ear. And then I'm going to take my eyes, keeping my nose pointing forward, and I'm going to look around as if I were trying to see my left ear. And I'm breathing in and out only through the nose. And my tongue is at the roof of the mouth. And so we're breathing in, maybe on a 2 count, a fairly light in-breath, and a longer out-breath than the in-breath. So only go as far as is comfortable for you. It should feel like a stretch, but it shouldn't feel painful. And we're going to hold this a minimum of 30 seconds. And gently release. Aha. You might feel some euphoria upon releasing, or maybe a little bit of popping, a little bit of awakening. And now we're going to wait about 15 seconds, and then we're going to take the left hand on top of the head, and we're going to pull the left shoulder towards the left ear, right shoulder or right ear goes away from the right shoulder, nose straight ahead, eyes up and around to the right, and then drop that right shoulder down and away from the ear, and just feel that stretch. And we also are breathing only in and out through the nose. Longer exhale than inhale. Eyes twisting as far as you can twist them. You might want to feel even a little discomfort behind the eyes because we're looking so hard. The tongue at the roof of the mouth. And again, we hold this a minimum of 30 seconds. When you want to release a muscle, you massage it. When you want to release a nerve, you hold it. And this is great for releasing that dorsal vagal nerve, okay? Go ahead and release. Come back to center. Kind of feel, wow, I always get a little bit of a rush or maybe a little bit of lightheadedness. Sometimes I feel some expansiveness after doing this. So that's my first exercise. That's a release for that sympathetic fight or flight. And then we're going to always, throughout the entire exercise, breathe in and out through the nose, not big breaths, but deep breaths. I want you breathing all the way down into the bottom of the diaphragm. So I'm feeling right here at the solar plexus, and when I'm breathing, I'm feeling that diaphragm drop down into the belly. And then on the exhale, I'm feeling that diaphragm lift up into the rib cage. We're exhaling is more than the inhale, possibly twice as long if possible. And what we're also doing by breathing through the diaphragm is that diaphragm is massaging the ventral vagal nerve, stimulating that safety parasympathetic modality. Okay, so we're already getting the body into a down-regulated state or a state of safety, meditation, rest, relax. So our next exercise is to tonify this ventral vagal, this parasympathetic, this safety side of our nervous system. So we're going to put our hands together almost like Om, and we're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, and when we're completely empty, our diaphragm is lifted up into the rib cage, we're going to hold for as long as we can. Our eyes will be pointing forward, but we're going to look through our peripherals as far and as wide as we can while looking forward. So inhale, exhale. Hold and press the palms together. So you'll notice that your breath hold on the exhale is not nearly as long as you can do on the inhale. So just a couple rounds of recovery breath, and then we're going to do it again. So inhale and exhale completely. Really feel that diaphragm lift and hold, eyes wide. So this ventral vagal nerve may be a little neglected in this day and age. So we're working this out to help to counter the dorsal vagal. So the rest and relax mode needs to be brought up to speed, while the fight or flight mode needs to be calmed down. Okay, one more time. So inhale. Exhale completely. Press the hands together and hold. Okay. The intent here is to have the body as relaxed as it can be on its own. So we do these exercises just to get it there. If your body is already in a relaxed state and you are able to monitor that, if you know that, simply come into what I call the basic breath, which is maybe a 2 count in to the diaphragm and then maybe a 4 count out. And so now for the remainder of this video, stay in that basic breath and just listen. You don't need to listen super attentively because you're picking everything up. You're in a relaxed mode. And so you will notice that even if you're not listening attentively, you are picking up more. And so today I wanted to talk about Starseed meditation. And it's fascinating. This whole Starseed thing has been ever present for me, and yet only recently have I been able to really start to understand it. It's not something that I'm educated on, but it appears to be something that's been happening for a long, long time in my experience. And now as I look at it, it feels like it's something that I am experiencing. You can look at, I would encourage you to get my book, actually. It's called The Importance of Flying. And this is an event that occurred in 1995. And I feel like I just wrote it as I saw it and experienced it. And I didn't have definitions for it. I have had many, many experiences since then and throughout, continuously, that endorse this Starseed understanding and phenomenon. But I guess it's just that I hadn't looked for it. I hadn't studied it. I hadn't sought it out. And so what I'm seeing right now in our current socio-political storm is that things are waking up. And this is very much how I had seen things occur in my experiences previous to the trip that's written about in the book, and after the trip. I had seen a lot of the destruction probably early in my life, between 8 and 14, maybe 17 even. But I had no words for it back then, and it was just so far out there that it couldn't possibly be. And anyway, in the book, I write about kind of the final points and then this ascension piece. And you look at the book and you'll say, you wrote about that? And I'm like, well, no, I actually lived it. It's fascinating that this happened in 1995. That would be 30 years ago this summer. And it feels like what happened then is happening now, but in a very, very, very different way, with different props, different on a worldwide scale, different scale. So I've been given a lot of meditations recently, and when I say given, I've come into an understanding that everything that comes through this physical is basically channeled, because this physical, after you've really had some wider experiences is not nearly what we credit it to be. It's a very dense experience of consciousness, and a wonderful way to explore contrast, to explore feeling this third dimension reality. But when you come from a place of absolute dimensionlessness, and then you compact that down from infinite dimensions to less and less and less and less, and then bring it down to only 3 dimensions, right? That makes for quite a compact experience. And so that's what this ends up being. So the meditations that I'm talking about are really exploring your energy centers within. It's following your breath. I've been having people come into the solar plexus because the solar plexus is the battery. It's also that point where your ventral vagal nerve, your parasympathetic response, and the diaphragm meet, because that nerve goes through a hole in the diaphragm. And as you really become aware of diaphragmatic breathing, you are calming or activating that parasympathetic or rest and relax response. So diaphragm breaths start here and then expand out. You're charging. Now when you bring in the lower chakra down here, that would be the reproductive, the creative, the expansive portion, and the heart. While having this battery charged, it seems like what happens, because energy wants to move up, you're supercharging the heart chakra. And right now, that's what we need. We need more heart energy in this world. And we can start with just the heart, or we can supercharge it and take it from there. So either way, however you want to do it. So it's really just about doing that 2 in, 3, 4 exhale, calming the body, down-regulating the body, and then following your breath in to your inner space, finding where the attention is wanted or where you're drawn, and then using the breath to expand upon it. You can expand the heart chakra, the solar plexus, all of them, the pineal, the third eye, all of them, just by really focusing on the breath, bringing the breath in. The breath is prana. Prana is the life force. It's our interaction with the infinite and the manifest, or the not so infinite. the seer and the seen, the observer and the observed. This is the observed. The observer is your wider consciousness, the expansive consciousness that is infinite, that connects with the infinite, that is part and parcel of the infinite, that does not deny that it is part of the infinite, that it is among the infinite, whereas a lot of times we deny that this piece is of the infinite, that this physical body is part of all of that larger piece of yourself. So, yeah, I was just going to touch on the Starseed. Infinite is infinite. And I'm not sure what the storyline is that's unfolding here. with this current storm of emotion and breakdown in our social structures. But when I pay attention to the infinite, I see an opening, I see brightness, I see expansiveness. And so for me, my advice, if you're watching this video, is to pay less attention to what's happening out there, because the attention is gonna go there. It's gonna happen. It's in the collective consciousness, and those people, those who need to be working on the front lines are. If you're watching this, you need to be in the consciousness mode, and you need to be spending more cycles coming into awareness, coming into expansiveness, coming into pure consciousness. And so look at some of my previous videos, my meditation videos. Practice coming into deeper and deeper and deeper consciousness. Practice opening up awareness. And what I feel like can happen here with this is we imagine where we want to be, and sometimes it's not in words. In fact, oftentimes when we go to the infinite, it's not in words, but it's in feeling. And you pick up that feeling of just expansiveness, of joy, of bliss, of love. Bring that in. Use that antenna in my previous meditations, where you anchor into the earth, being as this being is part of the consciousness of the earth. We are the antennas for the earth, and tune our antennas to the light, to the love, to the expansiveness, and keep our antenna tuned there. Allow the destruction to happen on its own. When you push a pile of blocks, it falls on its own. Now it's time to imagine what we want to build with those blocks, with the pieces, with who we are. And we also are at the point where we can bring in anything that we want, anything that we desire. And that's going to be obviously only those things that are beneficial to all, but bring it in. Anyway, that's kind of sounds like an assignment, and yeah, let's call it that. That's your assignment. Hey, thank you so much for watching, and continue the breath throughout your day, multiple times throughout the day. Come into a nose-only breath, close the mouth, breathe in all the way to the diaphragm. Not big breaths, but deep breaths. And most importantly, conscious breaths. Be so aware of the breath that the whole world slows down, and exhale longer than the inhale. And as you do this, by the third breath, you'll notice that even though the whole world has slowed down, it's become brighter. It's become more joyful, just in those 3 breaths. So thank you. Wonderful to be here to give this message. Hey, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.